Thank you for tuning in with us again here on UYE, Unified Young Entrepreneurs. I'm Corey Roberts, your host. Today is about no grad school, but I got an MBA, and I'm talking about massive bank account. I'm right now with Isaac Olowolafe, who's the president and CEO of Dreammaker Realty, one of the biggest real estate firms within the Ontario marketplace. Isaac, thank you so much for being
Corey.
Here today.
It's a pleasure.
Excellent. Always looking sharp,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So first off, what is Dreammaker Realty?
Well, Dreammaker Realty is one of 6 divisions within the Dreammaker Corporation. Dreammaker Realty is a real estate brokerage firm, and within the corporation we have the wealth management firm, property management, financing, education, and now development.
Excellent, excellent. So today's topic, just so you understand, is no grad school, but I got an MBA. Now, I know you went to UTM, Arundel College, just around the corner from here.
Correct.
So talk to me about the importance of schooling versus going into entrepreneurship. How important is schooling going into entrepreneurship?
Well, I think that's an interesting topic, and especially in this current marketplace that we're in, a lot of people are deciding, should I go to school, should I do my MBA after undergrad? And I really think it's a personal decision to make. For me personally, I'm graduating at the U of T Mississauga campus. If I had to do it all over again, I would, because the experience that I got laid down the foundation of the way my business is running right now. As a real estate firm, our focus is using economic fundamentals to make purchases anywhere across the GTA. And I got those fundamentals through the teachings of university.
From school.
Yeah.
So do you think that school is adequately equipping young minds to be entrepreneurs? Do you think there's a disconnect there? And if so, you know, what are some possible solutions if you think there is kind of a disconnect there?
Well, I think school is preparing you to get a job. I think most people, and for me, what I took out of school was really to get the fundamentals of how I could build a business, to learn how to strategize, to learn how to work with individuals. And that's what school prepared me for. But until I got into the workforce, until I started up the business and started to interact with individuals outside the classroom, that's when I really started to build my entrepreneur mindset.
Right, and I feel the same way, because when I went to school myself, what I really took out of all that money I invested into school was the friendships and the networks that I was able to build, which led me to different opportunities across. And I think if everyone has that mindset going into school, a lot more people would get
take more advantage of it.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yep.
So being an entrepreneur yourself, as a successful entrepreneur at that, what kind of courses would you recommend to entrepreneurs that are watching right now? What courses would you recommend that they take while they're in school?
Well, obviously under the entrepreneur title, there's different sectors and industries. So since I'm in sort of the real estate and investment industry, so anybody looking to start a business in that real estate or investment industry, I would say 2 major type of programs to take is economics, which is sort of a direct impact on real estate, which is teaches you about the market and how to read the market. And another one that is an indirect impact is psychology. And why I say psychology, because with psychology it teaches you how individuals react, how individual people think. And in the business that I'm in, I've realized that if you don't know how to interact with different type of people from different types of races, different types of background and locations, you're not going to know how to do business with them.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. I actually tried to minor in psychology, but it was going to force me to stay an extra semester in school. But I took psychology classes for that exact same reason. Because I understand that any business that you do go into, you're going to have to know how to work and communicate with different personality types. And that's so very, very important when pursuing any opportunity for that matter. So let's talk about right now. I read a statistic right now that for the average college grad coming out of school, for every college grad, there's 1 job.
Yes.
Right. For every 100 college, graduates, there's 1 job. And where 30 years ago, for every 1 college grad, there was 100 jobs. You know, what do you think is kind of happening there? What's going on from your perspective?
If we focus on Ontario, what's been happening over the last 10 years is migration, right? We're seeing a lot more foreign students coming in from around the world because they see the value of coming to Ontario. And as a result of that, there's more people going into school. As a result of that, there's more people coming out with education. So 10 years ago, when a university degree was like an MBA, now it's like if you don't have your MBA, you can't become like an investment banker. You can't do high-level corporation jobs. So it's becoming more competitive. So I think anybody in school, whether it be college or university, experience in whatever field they want to do should be something they focus on right from day one. Right. So while you're in class, looking at volunteering in whatever industry you want to focus on in the future, because that will give you the little bit of edge against the individual that just has the grades.
Right. So really quickly, you touched on the word experience. Yeah. Experience versus theory. Because in university, college, I find that there's a lot of theory.
Yes.
Right. I don't know if you agree with that.
No, I definitely agree.
In your opinion, what's more valid? What has more weight, more value to you?
I think depending on the situation, they both have a good combination of value. Like if you talk about real estate, I would never ask anybody to buy real estate from somebody that doesn't have their license through theory. Right. But at the same time, I'll never buy any real estate from anybody that don't have experience of selling and buying for themselves. So I think depending on the industry, the experience and the theory is important. But I think the universities have slowly started to create internship programs with different companies so that they could get that experience as well too. I know colleges have been doing that for from days now, but universities are sort of catching up on that example.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that I found so interesting going to university myself is I made sure that I did at least 4 internships before leaving that, because I knew that experience is what counts. It's a huge part of what you learn. The theory is important. I always find that a lot of university, college grads, they always run to that stumbling block of how many years experience do you have?
Exactly.
Well, I have 4 years of theory, but that doesn't kind of cut the mustard, as they say. So college versus university. I find that in Ontario, Mississauga, Brampton, the Peel region, wherever you are, that there's this huge gap sometimes, or at least they make it seem like there's a huge gap. So being an entrepreneur, do you think there's a difference between going to college or going to university?
I think it's only depends on where you want to go after. If you want to be a medical doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, you have to go through the university side. But if you want to open up a business, eventually run your own business or take over your father or mother's business, then university may not be for you unless some specific subject or courses within university, and college may be perfect for you because it has more training specific to the industry that you're looking to get into. So I think, like back in the day, it would have been university first, college second. Now is what do you want to be 5-10 years from now? Based on that, take a combination of both if you have the opportunity to, or focus on one that actually fits your needs, not what people are telling you that fits your needs.
Okay. Yeah. So overall, do you still feel like going to college, university is a good investment?
Overall,
let me kind of define the question a little bit, because I know it's kind of an open-ended question. But in terms of, let's talk business language, ROI, return on investment, in terms of what you're putting in. So let's say you're going to a big school like UFT.
Yes.
And you're spending, I don't know, 5-10 grand a year.
A year, easily.
You know, over 4 years, you're looking at 40 grand, right? No SAP. Do you think that's still worth the investment? Like, are people getting their return on investment, I should say?
If you're going to school and you're just taking any type of course and you're not interacting with your professors or students that are there, and you just walk away with a paper in anything, it's a waste of money.
Right.
But if you went there, you interact and build relationships with all types of individuals from all types of background, with the different, like for me, for example, while at university, I was fortunate. I built relationships with individuals locally and internationally. These are individuals that I'm doing business with right now.
Absolutely.
And I still have the paper that I got out of University of Toronto.
Absolutely.
But even after I was done, I'm still interacting with the university, with the scholarship and with internship, back and forth with some of the students there. So if I didn't go through university, I wouldn't have been able to go back and do things with them that we're doing right now. Right. So I think it's very important that you take full advantage of just not going for the studies, but going for the overall experience, which is interacting with both your students, classmates, and the professors that are teaching you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you. Interacting with the different students, opening up doors for yourself. So in terms of success rate, Do you think that if someone chose not to go to post-secondary education versus someone that did, do you think one is likely more to succeed in the entrepreneurship world?
Depending on what industry they decide to focus on, I know that if you're like, it could go both ways. For somebody that doesn't take that post-secondary schooling and went right into business, they may have generated more revenue and they would have built some more contacts, gained more interest, experience. But somebody that, let's say, did, let's say, their MBA at a top school, whether it be here or outside Ontario, and they gained relationships with individuals that once they're done, they could open up doors that the individual didn't know that association wouldn't. And for me, my business have grown through association.
Right.
So the university or college you're part of is an association. It's part of your network. And your network is your net worth, right? So as many associations that you could tie yourself to will make you better in the long run.
Excellent. Really quickly,
yes.
One good book that you can recommend to the entrepreneurs watching right now?
Probably the first book I've read that wasn't forced on me while in school was The World is Flat by Thomas Friedman.
Excellent.
And I read that book about 6 years ago, and it had nothing to do about real estate or investment, but I read it because it showed me that regardless of where you are, you could do business around the world.
Thank you so much, Isaac Olowolafe. You've heard it from one of the top producers here in the Peel region. I'm Corey Roberts. Stick with. We'll come right back with you here on UYE Unified Entrepreneurs.